Frank died on September 30, 2024, at 60 years old, 2 years after suffering a debilitating stroke. With Frank's memorial plans on hold because of his father, Bill, contesting his will, the American Pickers star's loved ones are coming together to hold a dedication for him on Memorial Day weekend. Frank's good friend and owner of his store Fritz Finds, Jerry Gendreau, exclusively told the U.S. Sun his plans for the dedication. "We're having multiple bands that weekend," Jerry said in his Savannah, Illinois bar Hog Dogs. These were bands that Frank knew and loved. Jerry revealed Chris Davis, who was Frank's guardian during his conservatorship, is set to play with his band in honor of his friend. Jerry also revealed he obtained a 1960s jail cell to perform a Popeye skit that he thinks would make his old friend laugh. "I need someone to play Frank of that stature. We're going to put Frank's head on top. I got our friend who we call Popeye in there. They're going to be in the jail cell. We have olive oil outside the jail cell with a big cartoon caption, 'I told you boys to be good.'" Frank would laugh. The jail cell is a novel idea that bikers, I can see walking in there and taking a picture in the jail cell. Tourism takes home memories, that is a memory. He continued the dedication will showcase what his life really was. In addition to the celebration, Jerry is opening a bar down the street from the store called Man Cave to be dedicated to Frank. In exclusive photos obtained by the U.S. Sun, the bar features a theater in the back that will run clips of Frank, his personal motorcycles on display and photographs hung on the walls. "The theater will or could showcase him in a very good light," Jerry said. Some of the comedic things he has said. "It's going to be a movie gallery. It'll show clips of Frank." He added of the bike collection and other memorable antiques, the motorcycles he bought. Some of the motorcycles there were Frank's at one point. "I bought a motorcycle and sign from Frank probably 10 to 12 years ago when they were first doing the show. It was on the show when he bought that. All of our lives are pretty short on the earth. His was cut real short. We're going to make that space dedicated to Frank. He'd like that. It will be there as long as I still own it." Jerry added of what he misses of his beloved friend, "I miss some of the dumb things he would do. He would come through the door and he was just fun. If you ever had a friend that when they left you had a smile on your face, then you know there's somebody you want to be around." Man Cave will be Jerry's new focus after he revealed his antique store Fritz Finds is dead. Jerry previously told the U.S. Sun, "The store has been dead a long time. Obviously, it doesn't have any stuff anymore. I'm not going out buying stuff. At one time, we had 120 antique dealers here. Antiques have fallen out of favor. What really is going on is, it's a barn full of mistakes. It's all the stuff nobody wanted. You gotta be current. The good stuff always sells and the junk hangs around." Jerry explained how Frank would bring antiques to the bar and had a good wealth of items before he suffered the stroke. Fortunately for customers, the doors will still be open to purchase the remaining items, though new merchandise won't be added. "Someone might come along to make it vibrant again, but that's not me or my wife or any of us," Jerry admitted. "We all fell out of favor of doing that. I'm going to wait and see what happens with the store." Jerry continued, "We're more entertainment now than anything else. Frank loved music. This is more of a motorcycle town. That's why Frank came here. I'm sure he would be pleased with something being done for him." Jerry added his focus will be on Man Cave moving forward. Frank wasn't as involved in the store after he suffered a stroke in July 2022. Frank's friends filed an emergency appointment of a temporary guardian and conservator for the star on August 18, 2022. Court papers claimed his decision-making capacity was so impaired. The conservatorship papers also revealed plans for the store in the years after the stroke. The initial plan filed by conservator Midwest One Bank read, "Mr. Fritz is a well-known collector and has numerous outbuildings full of valuable collections. The conservator has not yet inventoried those items but plans to leave them largely as they are now, with the exception of stocking Mr. Fritz's antique store in Savannah, Illinois as needed. Conservator is hopeful Frank will be able to participate in selection and pricing of items as he did previously." Jerry previously told the U.S. Sun how loved ones initially planned to honor the star's final wish by having a memorial in the spring of 2025. He said of the original plans, "This was his will. He wanted to come on the back of a motorcycle or a sidecar with his ashes in an urn with a big ride and go back to the Quad Cities." But Frank's final ride through the Quad Cities was delayed because of a battle over his fortune. The U.S. Sun previously reported an Iowa judge approved Frank's will prior to death. But his dad Bill filed court papers to fight for his late son's entire estate. Bill previously told the U.S. Sun of the court battle, "It is a fake will. He did not have a will. He did not sign it. I am his only loved one. I am his only survivor. None of them are related to him. I am the only relation he has. All the others are trying to get money. They are nothing but people who worked for him. One of Frank's friends pushed back to the US Sun, claiming his father had very little to do with Frank. He only came to see Frank once when he suffered the stroke. The insider maintained that the will is valid. The source told the US Sun his close motorcycle family planned a motorcycle run that includes riding Frank's ashes to Savannah, Illinois, where his longtime friend Jerry runs his antique store. They plan to have live music, possibly blocking off streets. His friends were in the process of planning the memorial when his dad challenged the will. The insider claimed Frank is the one who wanted a grand celebration with his friends, and that Bill did not know what his son wanted. The stroke left Frank wheelchair-bound and in a rehabilitation center. A source previously told the US Sun in August 2023, he can walk, but he's always going to need the wheelchair because he can't walk long distances. Basically, you lose motion. He lost motion. A stroke can affect your left or your right side. It affected his right side. Jerry previously gave insight into Frank's health struggles in his final days. He said, he felt really bad. You would go to see him in the nursing home and one half of his body was completely done. He would lift his arm up and it would just drop. That's got to be tough to be totally bedridden. Jerry added, I've seen this when people get tired, they get tired. I think if you don't have the will to live, you won't. I think Frank could have lived a lot longer if the will to live would have been there. Frank's American Pickers co-star and longtime friend Mike Wolfe was the one who announced his friend's passing. He was by his side when he passed away. In an astonishing and bizarre turn of events that has stunned fans of American Pickers, longtime alum Frank Fritz is at the center of a controversy that no one saw coming, as friends of the reality star reportedly plan to hire an impersonator of the late star to stand in a mock jail cell for an upcoming memorial, leaving fans both shocked and incredulous over the unusual tribute. The news first broke on social media, immediately sparking debates and heated discussions across platforms, as loyal viewers tried to process the surreal idea of celebrating the life of a beloved figure in such a controversial and unconventional way. According to sources close to Frank Fritz, the plan is to recreate a highly theatrical and somewhat darkly comedic scene that references moments from the late star's life and career, blending elements of humor, tribute, and shock value in a way that is intended to honor the memory while also giving fans a memorable and interactive experience. The so-called jail cell setup is reportedly symbolic, reflecting both the mischievous and rebellious personality that the late star was known for, while also providing a visually dramatic centerpiece for attendees of the memorial. Insider reports suggest that the impersonator will be dressed in a strikingly realistic costume, carefully designed to mimic the late star's appearance and mannerisms, ensuring that visitors will feel as if they are truly in the presence of the legend himself. The planning team has allegedly spent weeks coordinating every detail, from the construction of the jail cell to the lighting and sound effects that will heighten the impact, leaving no stone unturned in their quest to create a tribute that is simultaneously shocking, heartfelt, and unforgettable. Fans of American Pickers have been left divided over the announcement. Some are praising the creative approach as a bold and imaginative way to honor someone they loved, while others have criticized it as inappropriate or in poor taste, raising ethical questions about the use of impersonators in memorials and whether such theatrics detract from genuine grief and remembrance. Social media platforms have been flooded with comments, memes, and heated debates, as users attempt to weigh the pros and cons of what is shaping up to be one of the most talked about memorials in recent memory. Many fans have expressed that, despite the unconventional nature of the tribute, it does capture the essence of the late star's larger-than-life personality and his ability to surprise, entertain, and sometimes shock audiences, which has been a defining feature of both Frank Fritz's career and the American Pickers franchise as a whole. Others, however, are concerned that the stunt could overshadow the solemnity of mourning and the importance of reflecting on the late star's contributions, both as a television personality and as a collector who brought history to life for millions of viewers. Beyond the public reaction, sources claim that the friends of Frank Fritz are approaching the project with a deep sense of personal affection and a desire to celebrate the star in a way that is uniquely fitting to his personality, arguing that a traditional memorial simply would not capture the humor, audacity, and unforgettable quirks that defined his life and career. The impersonator, it is said, has been hand-selected for their uncanny resemblance and ability to mimic the late star's distinctive voice, gestures, and playful yet rebellious energy, ensuring that the performance will feel authentic, lively, and deeply evocative, while also maintaining a level of respect and sensitivity appropriate for the occasion. Event planners have hinted that interactive elements will be included, allowing guests to engage with the mock jail cell scene in ways that create lasting memories and photo opportunities, further amplifying the spectacle and ensuring that attendees leave with a vivid experience that feels both personal and entertaining. Despite the meticulous planning, critics argue that such an elaborate and theatrical display risks crossing the line from celebration into spectacle, potentially alienating fans who prefer more traditional and subdued forms of remembrance. The story has already generated extensive media coverage, with outlets highlighting the unusual nature of the memorial and interviewing experts on celebrity tributes, ethics, and public reactions to unconventional commemorations. Many commentators are emphasizing the duality of the situation. On one hand, the approach reflects a creative, boundary-pushing attempt to honor a beloved figure. On the other, it raises profound questions about taste, respect, and the line between homage and entertainment. As anticipation builds, it remains to be seen how the public will respond when the impersonator finally takes the stage, or in this case the jail cell, at the memorial.